the 10 stages of every Siege player.
Stage 1. This is when players will boot up the game for the first time. They open the menu and see the large number of operators. They immediately are in shock with how much content the game has to offer, but they decide that the tutorial might be a smart thing for them to try. They play through the tutorial and learn the basic mechanics of the game. They figure out how Siege's modes work, how to attack, how to defend, and what to expect from the game going forward. However, before they jump into a match, they feel like they want to test things out on their own. They go into the shooting range and they try out a few guns, and whatever operator has their...
I'm actually very curious to see what new players actually do, because when I used to play this game when I was new, obviously they didn't have as many modes, but I would just hop into a quick match. Like, I would just play the game. I wouldn't bother doing a lot of shooting range, or I wouldn't even know how to get there at times. But I think that's the onboarding they try to do, is try to ease people into like getting used to the mechanics faster. But I think the training mode is pretty nice.
Favorite gun they decide that they will play with from this point forward.
Yeah, I feel like people don't like try to control recoil until they're like maybe after copper, in my opinion.
Oh my god, this recoil is bad. I think the L85 is the perfect weapon, honestly. They might even open a versus AI match to try to get the swing of things offline first, where they will continue to choose that favorite operator of theirs.
I don't know, man. I feel like not even the new players are playing the AI mode. I want to ask though. I feel like they would just hop into a quick match, in my opinion,
and begin understanding their gadget. Wait, can I sledgehammer the floor?
W-sin.
Wow, I can. Okay, that's actually really useful. They then feel
this must be like an absolute mind fuck for new players, like also finding out that Siege has like floor destruction and like angles exist, because usually in regular FPSs it's like, oh yeah, the map is the same way every single time. You look left, look at the door, blah blah blah. But in Siege, bro, like everything you can
feel they are ready to try out their first online match. They go to the menu and boot up their first standard match, and this is when the second stage begins.
Overwhelmed.
Stage 2 immediately begins with the player realizing how much depth there is to Siege.
Yep.
They get into a match and they see their teammates shooting holes in walls, and they wonder to themselves what they are supposed to be for. They see a player place down a gadget they've never seen before, and they wonder, what does that do? And then their teammates yell at them for reinforcing the wrong wall, and they feel utterly lost.
They find the last thing they see is a shotgun to the head after reinforcing the rotate.
Feel like a fish out of water, and they don't know what they are doing wrong. As the match progresses, they start taking their first gunfights, and they are absolutely destroyed. They can barely hit their shots, and every enemy seems to be much better than them. This is the stage that makes or breaks many players. They feel like they don't know where to begin, and they very quickly get...
I think another thing about Siege movement in like as a new player is like there's no like objective for you to follow. Like in my opinion, like when you're playing Overwatch, you know, you have the payload, it kind of shows you where you need to be during the round. But in Siege, it's like you're just on your own. Like you're dropped in the middle of the battlefield, and like good luck, basically.
Scared to continue. Many players quit in this stage because of it, which typically lasts for their first 10 hours or so. However, this is where most players thrive. Many see the high skill level and the huge learning curve as a challenge to overcome, and others just fall in love with the game's core mechanics, and they are willing to keep playing just to keep getting the high the game's depth provides. Either way, if their first few experiences with the game are enough to keep them sticking around, this is when they move on to the next stage. Stage 3 is when players really try to improve. They begin broadening their horizons, choosing more than one operator to main on each side based on their preferences, and broadening the weapons they are willing to use. They also start getting pretty good at those operators, and they begin to understand their strengths and weaknesses. Also, by maining these operators, they start to learn their counters as well, and how they are meant to be played. Just from sheer time played, they begin to understand most of the map's basic layouts, especially the more popular ones. They know where to go to get to the bomb site, they know where the attacker spawns are located, and they know how to rotate across and navigate the map at a basic level. They also begin learning low-level site setups that are prevalent in lower ranks. Typically, these setups are really flawed.
Yeah, normally it would just be like basic holes between walls, I think is a good way to start.
But their teammates won't yell at them anymore, so that's a plus. Dude, my ranked teammates are gonna love this setup. As they continue to play games in the stage, they begin...
Yeah, bro, let me throw like the new players into like a castle setup, site extension, top-down, roam clear. Fall off. Oof.
Unlocking more DLC operators with their renown that look like someone they would enjoy playing. They give the newly unlocked operators a try, but they typically fall back to their mains they originally started playing, especially if their first few games with that operator don't go well.
Holy.
Yeah, bro, well, mine's terrible, bro. Like, what is his gadget even doing? His gun's like horrible. However, when their first matches do go well, they add that operator to their new pool of mains they play consistently. And this is how they begin to expand their pool of operators they're comfortable with and their understanding of the operators in Siege. To unlock operators faster, some of them even begin grinding through the operator specialty challenges to unlock more renown and operators. As they continue to grind, they unlock quick match at level 10. They realize the renown gains are slightly faster in this mode, so many of them decide to stick to it, even though the matches may be quicker than they'd like. Eventually, they grind enough to reach level 50, and that's when the next stage begins.
Lost.
Stage 4 is a big turning point for most players, and that's because it's when they unlock ranked for the first time. They decide to queue their first match, and they get that same feeling they did in Stage 2. They feel overwhelmed and completely lost. It feels like
This is where ranked 2.0 kicks in, is they'll start facing up against people who are like a lot better and more knowledgeable than them, and I think this is where the loss definitely comes in.
like a lot of their skill and progress they made in quick matches and standard is not transferring at all here. This feels like a whole different animal. Their teammates are making callouts that they don't know, and their teammates are expecting them to do the same. They also notice that their team is doing different strats from what they remember seeing in quick match and standard, and it begins to throw them off.
This is why like playing with people is so important in, I mean, this is how it is for any game, but simply just adding people who talk. Like, just be a person who genuinely likes this game. You don't have to be on the perfect path to have the best loadout, lowest recoil, how to get the most kills. But like, if you just genuinely like, hey, let's push together and do the strat together, and whatever happens, happens. I think that's the best way to improve. And when you add people who are like that as well, I know it's very rare for, you know, people to be normal and ranked, but if you add them, it's going to excel or expand your callouts. It's going to help you absorb knowledge quicker than rather you just being, you know, it's like being alone in a library and not knowing which book to read first.
Also, their teammates want them to play operators they have never played before. However, they ignore their teammates, and instead they decide to continue to use all the operators they have been maining up until this point. This allows them to adapt to the change in pace by using the gadgets they know by heart to their advantage. But it means that they are...
Oh man, this is an off-topic thing, but 60 FOV I feel like makes everyone play worse, because it just, the game's already so slow enough that like, when you're on 60 FOV, you can't jump in this game. You don't run that fast between stuff compared to other, you know, faster movement games. You just feel very like restricted on movement. Versus if you had 90 FOV and a bit more experience, you kind of, you know, you kind of get around the map a lot more easier and faster. And the way I think about Siege, like going from a new player to like a regular player, it's like being on a pallet. Like, the map is fully reset every single time, and you can play it however you want, which is why this game is so amazing. But it could also be very overwhelming at first. Like, oh, you just feel like you just spawn in the map and just are useless.
not in tune with their teammates at all. Yeah, I don't care what my teammates say, I'm going sledge.
A few moments later.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Holy.
And because of this, their enemies are typically much more prepared, and their first ranked game will not go in their favor. At the end of their match, though, players begin to become even more confused. They realize that after the match, they immediately become ranked, and that there are no placement matches, which if they played other competitive shooters before, they will be very confused by. But the competitive nature of the mode, the realization of ranked rewards existing, and
Whoa, bro. Hey, bro, I know this is just background blur gameplay, but god damn, there's no other clip that he could have used. This guy running out of clips.
progression ranked provides pulls them in. They are immediately hooked, and their love for the grind begins, which brings them into the next stage.
Why are they stealing your clips?
Stage 5 is a stage where players really start to grind.
Wait, what was stage 5's? The climb.
Stage 5 is a stage where players really start to grind. They begin putting in more and more hours in a week until eventually Siege is the game dominating their free time, with other games being put on the back burner. Dude, what could he want, bro? Hello?
I want to play Apex.
Nah, I'm busy. All right. They begin to learn more operators. They learn.
Yeah, yes. This is like, for me, this my transition for this mode was going from doing house 1v1s with my school friends for like hours, like an hour or two, and like we would maybe go play quick match, but we would just TK everyone and then just leave. But then it's like, oh, I actually want to kind of like get some more kills in here and there. but like I feel like that holds a lot of people back is like they want to get good at the game, but their friends don't. And then it is like, oh, I don't have friends to play, so I'm just not going to go play. But this is where my stage would be like, I kind of want to play more ranked, but then you are limited to like 2 or 3 people that of your friend group that actually want to play.
Teammates and from experience, and they begin to improve mechanically with time. This improvement allows them to rank up at a faster pace than ever before. This is also when a lot of players begin to become a part of the actual community. They might start interacting in subreddits or Discord servers for the game, discuss the game on Twitter, or they may even start
watching. Yo, Dilly with the 5 gifted. Thank you for 5 gifted, bro. Appreciate that, man. Can we get W in the chat?
The game on YouTube and Twitch. This gives them more opportunities to meet new people and to learn more about the game quicker than they would on their own. By the end of this stage, most players know all the operators, and they have spent their renown or R6 credits unlocking most of them. They also know all basic callouts available on their compass from sheer experience and from their teammates. And they also know the recoil patterns of all the weapons that are available on their unlocked operators. This stage is when players really start to form themselves as a player, and they begin to find their place in the community. However, they eventually hit a slump, and their ability to rank up will slow to a halt. And this is when
Diddy Onza is that guy's name. I wonder why he's in a slump.
Stage 6 begins.
Hard stuck.
After making it through the 5th stage, typically players will find themselves hard stuck. They'll reach a point where learning takes forever.
I was a hard stuck gold when I swapped to PC.
They feel like they are doing everything right, but they just can't rank up.
Or
this causes them to start to look to outside sources to explain why they're not ranking up. Many will start blaming their teammates for why they're not ranking up, thinking that their randoms or the people they're queue with are holding them back. This is a
chat, what rank are you guys hard stuck right now?
Dark point for many players, and it's likely the hardest stage to get out of. Players can be in this stage for years without ever breaking through. They get in this cycle of winning one game, losing the next, going on a win streak, then on a losing streak, and typically they find themselves stuck here because of major flaws in their gameplay, game sense, or communication that they don't know exists. And these major flaws hold them back from being able to climb up the ranks. Sometimes all it takes is for them to find 5 people they can queue with consistently for them to start ranking up again, because playing with other players helps them to identify the flaws with themselves. But typically for most players, it will just take them truly putting in the hours to practice, watch content, and having higher ranked players give them feedback for them to break their bad habits and improve enough to start ranking up again. But once they
truly, what helped me not be hard stuck was watching better players. Like the point he's talking about, like I was hard stuck like gold 1 to plat 3. I could barely get it to plat 2 because I was mainly going off, like I said, I know all the operators, I know recoil, I know what operators are kind of good here and there, but I wouldn't really have a lot of substance to my gameplay. I wouldn't go for playmaking. I wouldn't go for trying to plant the bomb or default takes. Like I wouldn't have a plan behind what I actually wanted to do. You can only get so far by just entering the building and whatever happens off of your drone. Especially if you are not like champion in the previous times, because you don't really have a plan B. You're kind of just like winging it, which is not consistent, which is why you could be hard stuck. Like I used to watch a lot of Modiga, Bolo, Godly, a little bit of Serenity, and just overall who I watch a lot were like the top console players, like way back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember this, but like I used to like own like a Instagram page just for like make like posting siege clips, and like, oh my god, I remember this, bro. And like in the captions you would always like put hella tags and fucking shit like that, and just all these edits and posting your clips. Oh man, I kind of miss those days. I don't know if people still do that nowadays. I don't think so, because reels exist, but I would find people in the community who also made like siege content on Instagram, and then you would ask those guys to queue up and all that kind of stuff. Oh man, that was like your own little like local community on Instagram. I miss that. This was also back when Instagram didn't have reels. It was just like videos and photos. So you would post about, oh, hit this rank, you know, follow for more like best diamond PS4, the best diamond Xbox type shit.
During the 7th stage, players finally start to overcome their hard stuck status, and they begin slowly climbing through the ranks again. This is when players,
I would say this is also attributed to rank 2.0, but also when people will just generally get better.
Start to reach the higher ranks like Emerald and Diamond. They start to feel like all of their hard work is finally starting to pay off. They start dominating on an individual level, winning more gunfights and becoming more confident. They start to better work together with their teammates as well.
Dude, I've seen like Diddy in like at least 3 of these clips so far. Wait, his name is Diddy Party. Okay, bro. I didn't think it was the the owner of this video would have Diddy in his name.
More
but,
gunfights and
alright.
becoming more confident. They start to better work together with their teammates as well. It feels like
Diddy Mansion gotta be a map, bro. Imagine the call outs. Yo, he's in bathroom, bro. He's in oil room, baby oil room, bro. Or he's in dungeon, Diddy's dungeon.
they are finally reaping the benefits of all their hard work. However, as they start to climb the ranks and they become a better player, an ego begins to form more and more in the back of their mind. And this is when stage 8 begins. In the 8th stage, a lot of players will begin to drown in the ego that formed in them at the end of stage 7. They think they are better than they actually are due to the fact that their individual skills have improved so much. This causes many to begin to treat others as higher ranks treated them when they started. They just blame others for everything. They get mad at their randoms and they begin to get frustrated.
These are the worst types of people. Honestly, these are the people we make content about. Actually, we did make a video about this. It was, I met the most delusional emerald, and this guy thought he was main character when he was like max emerald. He would blame at people for not getting the wall open, blame people for dying early, and just, yeah, I hate it, bro.
Frustrated very easily. They believe they belong in champion.
Yeah, they're like allergic to accountability.
But it just seems like they can't achieve it no matter how hard they try. So blaming others is their
This guy's name is Sagundi. What does Sagundi mean, bro?
main way to cope. Dude, what is my Blackbeard doing? He just leaves me and lets me die, okay? This results in them having a hard time finding
Oh, that's so accurate, bro. They just like they just blame someone for like it's like, okay, that's a big thing. I do it sometimes too, but like you'll blame a teammate for assuming they're gonna make the right decision without communicating to them.
players to queue with. However, they are more confident in their own abilities than ever before. So they are totally comfortable taking gunfights, even if their skill does not allow them to back it up.
Bird aim.
Dude, my teammates are so bad, bro. Like, genuinely. I'm trying to turn this game around by spawn peeking just because my teammates are so terrible, but
Why is Buck on the roof though? That's a question.
it's still not helping. As time goes on, they begin to become more aware of their ego as a problem. They begin to realize, maybe I'm doing something wrong. And they begin to
Yes, accountability.
look
Stage of
internally at their
accountability.
own gameplay. Sometimes this can be caused by external factors like another player pointing their ego out or online content informing them of the problem.
Online content pointing out their lack of accountability.
Either way, they begin to realize that they just might be the problem, and they begin to drop their ego, ask for tips from others online, do further research, and spend more time practicing. After doing this, they begin to see the fruits of their labor, and that's when stage 9 begins. However, there are some
Yes, stage 9, they equip the Athieno charm, and that's the last stage because they just ascend to humanity. Money is worthless to them. They have the abundance of all the women and partners and men that they want, and they just, you know, when they go to the gym, bro, like they just max out the stack every time. They can't fit enough plates in the barbell because they're just too good.
players who get stuck in this stage forever, and they just let the ego overtake them until they eventually just quit the game. Stage 9 is when players get their ego in check.
Imagine stage 11, suicide. Could just kill himself. Can't take this game
They
anymore.
begin to truly improve on the main flaws in their gameplay, and their lack of ego allows them to play with higher level players more consistently. They will reach out to others in their skill level via social media or just via the game itself, and they begin ranking up at a quick pace. Having others to consistently queue with is nice as well. They feel like they have more consistency in their games, and they are able to better mesh with their teammates since they know their playstyles.
Stage 11
they
just
manage
gonna
to
be
hit champion
grief.
for the first time, finally achieving what they have always wanted. And they immediately equip their champion background and charm to every operator the next season when they get it. And after hitting champion, players move on to the final stage. Stage 10 is where players finally get to enjoy all the benefits of their long practice and effort. They can start queuing with higher ranked players, and their rank can help them get into 10-man servers and other competitive communities where they can begin to interact with people at the highest level. People will start taking their skill more seriously, and they basically mastered the game. While playing,
Yeah, honestly, it kind of sucks now that like if you want to like get higher like in rank and skill, I feel like ranked can only do so much because you're going up against cheaters and like you're getting boosted people on your team and the other team, and you might be that player themselves, that boosted player, but like I feel like a reliable source for top skill making, skill-based matchmaking past like Emerald and Diamond doesn't exist. Realistically, yeah, you could queue for 10-man servers, but then you're just gonna be waiting 30 minutes for a game because someone's doing the laundry and didn't accept the face it or some shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Versus back in the day, you could just keep grinding ranked and you'll just hit the top echelon of people like pro players who would stack, and then that would be your issue of what you're doing wrong. Then they'll realize, oh, I can't just run in the building all the time and, you could actually stand a chance against them. But now it's kind of just, it's either a 4-0 sweep or you kind of just get fucking 1-4 dogged.
They notice that they aren't learning at nearly as fast of a rate. They learn new things every once in a while, but it takes a truly wild trick to catch them off guard. Some may begin to look at their own skill and realize that they can do something with it, and so they use their high rank to move into the competitive scene by playing in low-level tournaments to chase the high of constantly learning and improving. However, some go into content creation.
Ooh, hey, content creation. Hey. What's that video right there? Oh, 3 tips to win more gunfights.
And use their skill to teach others. But the majority just enjoy the gameplay this high level has to offer due to its strategic depth. They get to play amongst people who understand the game at its core, and their knowledge of the game allows them to create strategies by putting operators together in ways others in lower ranks couldn't imagine. Anyways, that about wraps up today's video. If you're currently—
Wait, he missed this stage 12 of just like doom and despair, just like self-hatred. I think he missed a step, but
in one of the 10 stages I discussed in this video, definitely make for sure to let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed today's video, I make siege content just like this twice a week, so go subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter if you don't want to miss the next upload. Now, if you want to watch another video just like this one, a video will be popping up on your screen right now that I'm sure y'all enjoy. I'll see you next time, friend.
yes, hey, W video. Guys, shout out to Beast Mod. Guys, subscribe, like on this shit, W video. But yeah, that's what I think he nailed the 10 stages of every player pretty accurate though.